Thanks so much for joining us on Morning Live Sport. Now, they may not have brought back the silverware, but we were all so excited about their run to the quarterfinals. The Springbok Women concluded their Rugby World Cup campaign with 46-17 quarterfinal defeat to New Zealand. It was over the weekend. However, they can hold their heads high as it was the first time the team reached the Rugby World Cup playoffs. And to reflect on this journey at the World Cup, we are joined by Springbok Women's head coach Swys de Bruin, as well as Danelle Lochner. Before we get there, though, Leanne and I spoke about this earlier on. It's been a funny video, but I mean, many a truth is said in jest that's been going viral around the Springbok Women's team. Let's just give you a snippet of it.
Okay, South Africa, I think we need to talk women's rugby again, okay? Women's box. We need to talk the name. I've got an issue with the name Women Box or Female Springboks or the women's team of the Springboks. It's so confusing out there. When Rassie's team play, you don't tell your friends, oh no, we're going to watch the men's Springbok team. We're going to watch the male bokke of the man's bokke. No, you're just saying Springbokke. Good teams deserve good names, good identities, their own identity. The female rugby team for the England team is called the Red Roses. The all-black female team is called the Black Ferns. Australia's female team is called the Wallaroos. The men is Wallabies, they're the Wallaroos. This genius is beautiful. Let's get the flippin' own South African name for our women's team, man. They deserve it. I mean, Bafana is the men's soccer team. Female team, Banyana. Even the Blitzbokke has got a different name. So I got some suggestions that I want to share with you. The Biltong Betsies, the Lionesses, the Blombokke, because they got the Blom squad now, you know what I mean? The Springbokke, even though I know not all.
He's got a long list of names, and I agree with so many of them. And he says, listen, I can't be hard-pressed on any one of them, but I agree. And Swys and Danelle, I know many people must be saying to you, you guys have performed so well. Congratulations. You touched base on home soil yesterday, and everyone is saying you made us so proud. Please, can we get our own names and not just call you the Springbok Women? Swys, what are you thinking about that?
I must say, I enjoyed some of those names. Yeah, no, it's so nice to be, a hero's welcome at the airport. But if you think of those names, whenever I speak to the team and greet them in the morning, I say, morning people of the palace. So maybe what about princesses or the queens or something like that?
I love
because
it.
they they just are fantastic.
Yeah. Danelle, have any names come up that you like? Ooh, I like that.
No, not really. I think the women box has been printed into my brain, so I think I'm very used to that. It will take a lot for me to not want to hear that.
Yeah, I hear that, and I get that. If you guys are sticking with it, we will stick with it. But I just think, South Africans have been really excited. I was at a wedding in Bella over the weekend, and we had to find a corner, find some signal, make sure that we could at least watch some snippets of your game. And it was just so nice to see how everyone at the wedding was so excited about your game, against New Zealand. You guys broke quite a few stats. You made history by getting to the quarterfinals. I know that was just your goal alone. Swys, you've spoken about developing an identity in this team. I know that you are happy with them, but now that you've come home, do you feel like your work is closer to where you wanted it to be? Because really speaking, you had such a short time to prepare this team for the Women's Rugby World Cup.
Yeah, if you just imagine what we'd achieved, and well done to the team and everyone, what we achieved in such a small time. Imagine if we keep going upwards and onwards to the next World Cup. I think the sky will be the limit. The growth has been unreal. It's a wonderful team. But the style of rugby they played was awesome, and they're almost the team of choice at the moment. When you speak to people, everyone wants to teams or the men's team, but they love the women's team. So if we, by God's grace, could have do this in such a short period, imagine if we have 4 years preparing for the next one. But the big thing is not to drop our guard now. We got to now get stronger and fitter, and our recruitment and our sponsors and everything must be spot on now going forward.
Danelle, you've spoken about how playing for the Harlequins, playing overseas, having that international contract prepared you for the pace of the Rugby World Cup, also just gives you a much higher performance mentality as well. My question is a two-part question. Nolu Sindiso is also hanging up her boots, and she's, pointed to you as being her successor. Where are you now, your headspace with the game and also the professionalization of women's sport?
Yeah, I think if if this Women's Rugby World Cup didn't prove a point to anybody, they are very, very mistaken. I think we've gone out, we've had a plan to do certain things and set certain goals, and I think we smashed them. So I think moving forward, that should be a big buy-in for people, sponsors, new sponsors, people to say, listen, let's make the game professional in South Africa, to give other players that opportunity as well. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it can only get better from where we are at this moment in time.
I mean, to both of you, and maybe Swys, you can answer first. What do you think are the most urgent changes that are needed, and what type of metrics can we be using to assess, you know, how close we are? Because really, you said 4 years, yes, till the next World Cup, but when do we want to achieve some of those goals before then?
Oh, yeah, no, that's just the end goal, to do well in 2029. The definite certain steps must be taken in place right now, even starting today, you know. I know Dave and Rian at SA Rugby and the guys there, they already got their plans going. They've got a wonderful ideas of a new professional league coming in that will run in the same time with the franchises, and getting more professional people going, the sponsors, as we said, to get on board. And I must say, there's a keen interest from the sponsors as well, what I picked up. So yeah, we definitely can't now. It's got to be, the very first thing is we've got to get a strength versus strength, competitive rugby going, and make sure that, you know, they say in Afrikaans, as jy ys ter warm is, moet jy die pyp buig. So while it's hot now, we got to go for it now and can't wait. It mustn't just be a little that you walk out of the movie and it was a nice movie and now we just forget about it in 2-3 days' time.
Yeah.
But knowing rugby, you know what they've done with all the codes. I'm talking sevens and I'm talking men's rugby. So they're passionate rugby people.
Yeah, Danelle, just to give that question also to you, what type of metrics are you as players looking for? What do you want to see changing? I've chatted to Behandra Dolph as well. She's given her insight, and many of the women are sharing different insights that people need to listen to, administrators need to listen to, come together and make sure that starts being implemented in women's rugby in South Africa.
Yeah, I think going back on what Coach Swys said with regards to the, you know, strength versus strength, we can only have that when the league we currently have in South Africa is professional, when players don't have to have 2 or 3 jobs plus their rugby in order to make ends meet. So I think as soon as we have that ball on the roll and we have players playing rugby full time, it will also make our you know, competition inside South Africa grow so much stronger, bring the best out of the players that we currently have, and maybe bring even out better players that we don't see.
Yes.
So I think that's probably one of the biggest things is moving forward, is having that professionalism with the women's rugby in South Africa.
Well, congratulations to both of you. Please take our congratulations to the rest of the team from the Morning Live team. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat to us. I know that you've just landed in the country, and we really do thank you for making the time to chat to us on the show.
Thank you so much.
So we're
From my side, thanks a lot.
We've been chatting to the coach of the South African Springbok Women's rugby team. They just landed home. You know that it was a goal for them to make it to the quarterfinals of the Women's Rugby World Cup. And, you know, that's what they did. Unfortunately, they didn't bring back that silverware, as we said, but they made us so proud. New Zealand, unfortunately, ousted them. And I don't know if you know, Danelle used to play netball as well. She's been speaking about the fact that the game needs to be professionalized. We need international contracts. And they say now is the time for sponsors to come on board and support them, so that we hope it will be onwards and upwards, as Coach Swys said, for the Springbok women as well.